Hey, how's it going? How's it going on this Wednesday evening? Man, it is the middle of January. It is the middle of January. How about that? Wow. That's crazy. Time is moving fast as F. I tell you what, and I ain't got a problem with it. I ain't got a problem with it at all. Um, let's get to summer. I'm surprised. Right now, right about now, I would be miserable as hell. I ain't lying. I would be so miserable, but I am upbeat as all get out, even with what's going on. Even with what's going on, I'm just feeling really upbeat. I think there is reason to feel upbeat. Uh, hey, Lisa, how you doing? Glad to see ya. I was thinking today. We got one heck of a snow squall today. The snow came in real hard and heavy, and that still didn't get me down. That did not get me down at all. I'm like, hey, I'm about to fight this, and I'm feeling good about it. So y'all get to go along with me on my new journey to not being all fucked up in winter. I appreciate that too. I appreciate it. And it's just so happened that my two favorite people is sitting here right here with me right now, and uh, yeah, snow. Yeah, we got good snow today. It didn't, it not deep. It just was like a real blizzard kind of situation. It just didn't get very deep, and that's cool. You know, um, came and went. Supposed to be some more over the next couple of days. Gonna be freezing for the Bears game this weekend. That ought to be good. LA Rams coming to town. Matt Stafford and them coming. I hope they bring their long johns with them. That ought to be good. Uh, I'm hesitant to watch that shit because, uh, you know, I tell you what, you got to have you got to have a damn triage team in your kitchen waiting for when you watch the Bears play. So you got to have you got to have a damn you got to have somebody sitting there waiting to do CPR on your ass. Cuz that is crazy. So, I guess I'll be watching it, you know. I don't know what time the game is. Let me have a look. Maybe I can see what time the game is. Maybe what I'll do is just uh stock up on a ton of liquor. Let me look right here right quick and see if I can see what time the game gonna be on. Let's see here. It says uh, Bears and Rams 5:30 on NBC. Bears and Rams 5:30 on NBC. Okay? There we have it. Houston and New England 2 p.m. on ABC or ESPN. And the Bears will be on Peacock for those that's got Peacock. Okay. So 5:30. Okay, it's after 5. I can stock up on liquor, okay? That's what I do. Stock up on liquor. Um, you know what? I might make some treats too. Hmm. Might make some football treats. I'm good at that. Hey, since y'all two is here, check this out. I was or you two, I was scrolling around the internet and saw this post from this dude, and I almost got sick looking at the post. Y'all know how I feel about bridges, right? Everybody know how I feel about bridges. This post just jacked me up. Check this out.
Has just inaugurated the world's largest bridge. Suspended 605 meters high, this monumental structure crosses a gigantic canyon. To provide access to this bridge, a mountain was literally cut. Before the official inauguration, the bridge underwent extreme stress tests. Dozens of heavy trucks were simultaneously positioned on the structure to prove its safety. At the top, a restaurant was created for those who like to admire the height. And to get there, a panoramic elevator takes people on a silent and dizzying ascent. And for those seeking an extreme experience, there is also a bungee jump available. The bridge is so high that it is equivalent to a 200-story building, but China took only 3 years for its completion. China has 18 of the 20 largest bridges in the world, so are you up for a little trip over there?
Y'all know I almost passed out looking at the damn video. Oh man. So it's gonna be in the 20s tomorrow down there, huh? Hey, you know what? It's gonna be colder than that here. So I don't know what to tell you. Uh Cover up your little booty. That's all I can tell you. But yeah, I saw that video, and that video jacked me up. I mean, I was so sick looking at that video. I'm like, wow, wow, that was crazy. Um, and no, let's not go. Let's not go at all. It 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 amazes me. It amazes me the human element that is involved in that. You know, the thinking involved in making some of these bridges around the world just amazes me. You know, can't you just get in an airplane and fly from one part to the other one? Hey, what's up, Charles? Can't you just get in a plane and fly? You ain't got to, you don't have to, you know, you don't have to build me a bridge from California to Illinois. I mean, come on. That's I'll get on a plane and fly. That is just crazy. Some of these bridges. Um, and hey, just for some shits and giggles early on, I've been clipping some of this AI stuff. I gotta learn how to do this shit because some of this stuff tickles the hell out of me. I gotta tell you, some of this stuff tickles me. All of it tickles me. The way they do the AI stuff these days, I really gotta learn this because it's funny. Check this out.
I want you to roofie me until I'm more blacked out than the Epstein files.
Linda,
Huh?
you ever been choked out during a timeshare presentation?
So anyway, it was the first time I got jammed in my Duke shoot at a Red Lobster.
Barbara, you ever give a hand job in a Bass Pro Shop bathroom?
Apparently, fist jamming dudes in the restroom of Hobby Lobby is illegal now.
Did you know he was the one?
Well, he walked right up to me and said, "You better have pet insurance because your kitty is getting smashed tonight."
Did you ever go to room 40?
Room 40?
Room for these nuts.
Oh, man. I can't.
You fell.
All that stuff kills me. That is some hilarious stuff. I tell you what, I don't, I mean, maybe I got a sixth sense of humor, but that stuff tickles the hell out of me. These people out here on the internet is crazy. They are crazy. So I just get a kick out of it. Pardon me and my sick humor, okay? Pardon me and my sick humor. But I'm sorry, I just get a kick out of it. Okay. Hey, yeah, you know what, Carmen? You're right. You know what? I got to take some time and try and learn that because I think that would be so um much fun. You know, with my sense of humor, if I could get these AI skills, and I'm pressing towards that because I've been messing with AI a little bit, and I'm actually getting the gist of it a little bit. And if I do, stay tuned because it's gonna be hilarious. It's gonna be hilarious if I get my hands on it. So anyway, um, for the serious stuff that's going on, uh, so this administration is hell bent on taking Greenland. And but before that, let me do a little. Let me play a little clip from PBS from earlier. This doggone administration has just gone ape shit. Before I get into that, I want to just take a minute to play this PBS deal about what the White House has been doing before we get into Greenland and stuff, because I was talking to a Republican and he didn't know anything about this. He had no clue, and still they're told to listen to Fox News and don't listen to anything else. Trump literally got on stage the other day and said, "Don't believe anything you see or hear." Just the other day, he got up there and said, "Don't believe what you see or hear." And I'm like, he keeps saying that, and these people do it. Listen to PBS News. And it's so sickening what they're doing. Check it out.
Just weeks into the new year, the Trump administration has surged ICE agents to American cities, overthrown a foreign head of state, threatened a military takeover of Greenland, and rewritten the history of January 6th. As Liz Landers reports, the administration has rolled out a campaign across departments that draws on images and ideas borrowed from right-wing and white nationalist circles.
From the U.S. Department of Labor, a message. One homeland, one people, one heritage. Remember who you are, American. It's a video that appears to be part of a campaign now ramping up to sell the administration's efforts to the American people. For example, calling on potential ICE recruits to, quote, defend the homeland from outsiders while featuring heroic images of white men, often from a bygone era. Then there's this tweet from Friday, an ICE recruitment ad featuring the turn of phrase, "We'll have our home again," plastered over an image of a man on horseback and a stealth bomber flying in the distance. That's a reference to the song "We'll Have Our Home Again," a white supremacist anthem favored by the Proud Boys. Oh my God, we'll have our home again. My God, we'll have our home. Another image tells supporters to, quote, trust the plan, the slogan of the right-wing conspiracy theory known as QAnon, which posits there's a global cabal of pedophiles and deep state actors trafficking children and that Trump is fighting it. It's also a movement heavily involved in the insurrection on January 6, 2021. Last week, the Trump administration published a new website rewriting that history to blame Democrats for security failures that day and to justify the president's pardoning of more than 1,500 defendants. Weighing in on another era, last week President Trump also sat for a lengthy interview with the New York Times. He was asked about the civil rights movement and told reporters that while the landmark legislation did some good things, he said, quote, it also hurt a lot of people that deserve to go to a college or deserve to get a job were unable to get a job. So it was a reverse discrimination. A day later, Trump supporter and billionaire Elon Musk wrote 100 above this message on X, which read in part, quote, if white men become a minority, we will be slaughtered. White solidarity is the only way to survive. That's known as the Great Replacement Theory, popular in white nationalist circles that falsely claims the white population is being intentionally replaced by non-whites. For the PBS NewsHour, I'm Liz Landers.
Now, you got to understand something. There is an effort going on right now to create fear in white people's hearts and minds that if something happens and they're not the majority and in control, that they're going to be treated the way they have treated others. They're literally just training these people to feel like they have to be in control and they have to be a majority because the other races will do unto us what we did to them. These people are literally using the government websites. If you go to the government websites, this is what you find. This is what they're doing. That is so crazy that and see, the people that look at Fox would never see that because Fox never airs anything about that. Okay? That's to recruit new people. The people that watch Fox always, they always are going to feel like that and think like that. Well, they're more non-white, but here's the thing. Here's the problem with that statement. There are more non-white people in America than white. This, I don't know if there's more non-white in general. There may be more non-white in general than whites. But those non-whites will never get together. The non-whites that are in America have been just conditioned to never get together. Their prejudices within those non-white groups have been extended from the white groups, the white man. Those non-white groups have prejudices against the darker groups in their groups. The Mexicans, the lighter Mexicans are prejudiced against the darker Mexicans and prejudice against the blacks. The Chinese, you ain't gonna, the Asians, the Asians, as far as they're concerned, they're white. Okay, so now whites don't call them white, but they assimilate white. Every other group that is non-white has a prejudice against the darks in their community and the blacks. Everybody got a problem with the blacks. Even some of the blacks got a problem with the blacks. The Somalis who got here and immediately says, hey, we're not black. Well, okay, I beg to differ. That's what's going on with that. The problem is it is working. It is working. The non-whites will never get together and say, hey, enough is enough. The non-whites will never come together and say, hey, look, we are going to stop this. Because most non-whites are not warlike. Whites are a warlike group. Whites love war. Non-whites, not so much. Non-whites are not interested in doing battle. Whites, on the other hand, love to do battle. Just because they love control. And most people just step aside, hey, yeah, you can have it because, man, I don't feel like fighting. Go ahead, take it. You know, you want it all, take it. That's most people's attitude. They don't want to fight. What's up, James? That's the problem we have in this country. The whites that are not interested in fighting or not prejudiced, they're just much like the non-whites. They don't want to fight. They just want to live peacefully and, hey, okay, go and do your thing, and we don't want to, we don't want to do the sticks and stones and rocks and bottles and bullets. This administration understands that. That's why you have groups like the Proud Boys, Oath Keepers, all of these racist groups and white nationalist groups. That's why they exist, because those that are in power want to keep them around. That's why the KKK still exists. That's why all these groups still exist, because the power structure wants them to stay around just in case they're needed. Okay? With what's going on in Minnesota and around the country because of what happened in Minnesota, there's something may change. That'll have to get ugly to do that. But maybe before any of that, there's something else brewing right now, and that is, I'm going to lead this into the Greenland thing. These people who simply want to control shit and who are effortlessly keeping everybody's mind off of Epstein. Notice how the Epstein files have just went to the back burner. I haven't heard nobody say anything about the Epstein files. Hey, let's talk about the Epstein files. Everybody, don't forget the Epstein files. We still need to see them. Okay? This administration has effortlessly, over the last 2 weeks or so, gotten everybody to not think about the Epstein files with this blitzkrieg of other bullshit. See, right now, it's about, okay, we're going to go into Iran and we're going to get involved in their political situation. This guy is literally on TV talking to the Iranian people to overthrow their government for democracy. If that ain't, if that's not bizarro world, he is on TV telling the Iranian people to overthrow their government in the name of democracy, while the people demonstrating in Minnesota are getting a beat down from the Gestapo he put out on the streets to stop the demonstrators from achieving democracy. Where they do that at? Oh, yeah, that's right. Bizarro world. And he's saber-rattling about taking Greenland. He's spending our money sending Marco Polo and JD Eyeliner to Greenland to browbeat the Greenland people. And they've constantly told these people they don't want anything to do with them. And they won't take no for an answer. Ironic, isn't it? Yes, it is ironic. It is ironic and moronic at the same time. and he's on TV saying, we got to have Greenland. You know, we can do it the easy way or the hard way. Well, as of today, Denmark and Switzerland have started sending troops into Greenland. And the French are going to be sending troops into Greenland. So we know what this means. We know where this goes from here. And let me look up a clip right quick, because there's something to be said on this matter. Let's have a listen right quick. Isn't that crazy? Trump wants to stir up some dust somewhere else. Yep, absolutely. And it's turning up dust over here too. Yep, absolutely. But again, this is on purpose. Remember, all of this has a purpose. Understand, it's going to always go back to the election. He wants something going on to cancel the election. Let's look at this clip and let's have a listen to an opinion about Greenland.
With a brain must agree that if he helps himself to NATO territory, NATO-supported territory, and NATO is unable to resist, then NATO is over. What does that mean? If he wants to do it, there's nothing we can do. What is the likelihood of German, French and British troops turning up in Greenland and taking aim at Americans? If there is not international law, if there are not rules-based institutions, if there are not supranational security, then there is nothing. There is simply Genghis Khan. There is Hitler, there is Stalin. There are simply leaders driven entirely by rapacious greed and territorial ambition. Here's what's going to happen, probably. A build-up of troops on Greenland, starting at the base that they currently have, where the United States flag flies currently alongside the Danish flag. At some point, the Danish flag comes down. The number of troops on Greenland becomes close to the number of people living there. And at some point on that graph, it will be too late to do anything about it. It pains me to say to you, I think we're probably looking that prospect squarely in the face.
Well, apparently, Denmark thought about that and said, I think maybe we should do something about this. So they have sent troops into Greenland. And Sweden or Finland Denmark has reached out and asked other NATO countries to send troops into Greenland. And as far as right now is concerned, we have either Sweden or Finland sending troops, and France has agreed to send troops. So troops will be hitting the ground from NATO countries right soon. Apparently, they've thought about that fact that America may just start sending troops, because America already has in place with Greenland an agreement to have as much military presence there as they deem necessary. There's already an agreement been put in place years ago, decades ago. America used to have bases all over Greenland. They pulled them all out. There's only one base left there now. They used to have bases all over Greenland. apparently NATO has thought about this, and on the surface, at least, on the surface, has said, okay, let's send a few troops in to send the message probably that yes, there's going to have to be a fight about it. And when you get a NATO country fighting, if NATO is willing to fight, if they've actually decided that they're willing to fight, if we get into a fight in NATO, with NATO over Greenland, that won't necessarily disrupt an election. It may disrupt an election if it sparks chaos in the streets here. If the people here just have an upheaval at some point, that may stop the elections. This is the plan. And this guy's willing to put American lives on the line. See, those boots he sent into Greenland, if they decide to fight, I get the Venezuelan thing. The Venezuelan thing has been done before. Other presidents have went in and taken out dictators in these small places. Other presidents have done it. So that's not something special. But to actually attack a country, i.e. Denmark, over their territory, Greenland, just to take it, is a different story. I get the military doing what they did in Venezuela. 80%, from what I read earlier, 80% of Americans don't want no part of fucking with Greenland. I read that 63% of Republicans don't want no part of fucking with Greenland. Because most people don't want their people who are in the military on the ground in another country fighting for some shit that don't belong to them. Right now, we don't have any military on the ground in Venezuela. They launched a attack, got the guy, brought everybody out. Most people do not want American boots because there's feet in them boots, and them feet belong to people who have relatives. This guy seems to be hell-bent on getting that action started. Will the military do it? Will there be some backlash in the military? Because to launch an attack into Greenland, there has to be some legitimate reason. In Venezuela, there was an arguably legitimate reason. Just taking a country because you want it, that's something different. See, with Venezuela, it was the drugs. You can go in the court and say it was the drugs. This guy was running a drug cartel. We had to take him out. Remember Strongman Noriega? Same thing. Exact same story. If you go into Greenland, you've done what Putin has done in over yonder. So, this is where we are right now. This is where we are. The reason I brought this up was because of the because of the boots that are getting on the ground in Greenland from NATO countries. That means they've made some decisions. Okay, that means they've made some calculations. Because, you know, if there's a fight in Greenland, over Greenland, a lot of people from Greenland are going to get hurt, and a lot of people from other countries are going to get hurt. We will be in deep doo-doo with the rest of the world. Because trust me, China will be sitting there licking their chops if we get into a skirmish with somebody over their property. China's licking their chops. Remember, if China takes Taiwan, that's where all the semiconductor chips are that we need. If they take Taiwan, they shut us off. Period. AI, all that AI build up here, done. Okay? And all it's going to take is for us to do something stupid. Remember I said, all they got to do is start dumping the U.S. treasuries on the open market. We're done. And this guy seems to be hell-bent on some of this happening. Putin would love it. Putin would love it. All of those little Czech republics over there will be swallowed up. Remember the Soviet Union? It'll be the Soviet Union again. He'll swallow them up like a big fish swallowing little ones. And it's, you know, I guarantee you, it's about the election. It's about the election. He did an interview with CBS, and I thought to myself as I watched it, I watched that interview, and I pulled some clips from it because just to see the thinking in his head as he's talking. This Tony DeCopo is interviewing this guy. I wonder if I grabbed those clips. I think I did. Let's see if I did. I hope I did. Maybe I didn't. Nope, maybe I didn't. Oh, wait a minute, maybe I did. By golly. Nope, apparently I didn't. I really did want to share a part of that with you all. Maybe Monday. But that interview, this guy just, he lies so much on the fly. He simply lies on the fly. And it's just, it's amazing. I thought I had that. It's the same thing we should be doing over here. Imagine what's in those files he don't want people to see. You know what? Right. Absolutely right. Um, Trump has already admitted what was in the files. Trump has already said out loud that if the files are exposed, a lot of his friends will get hurt. He's already said that out loud. So, that's what's in the files. It's point blank. His friends are all over the files. The rich people who have been trafficking people. Right now, there's trafficking of people going on. Right now, so many women, kids disappear every day right here in this country. We're not talking overseas. We're talking right here in this country, and are never seen again. And it's Trump's friends. It's people who associate with Trump and his buddies, and their buddies. I mean, and that's the fight. That's the fight to keep the files closed up. They don't want anybody seeing them. So, again, the problem, though, is we have to try and make it to November. We got to make sure that there's no attempt to stop the election. We got to try and make sure there's no attempt to stop the election. That's what we got to do right now. Let me play this clip again about China and Taiwan. This is what we will be facing if China takes Taiwan.
Be the impact on the U.S. economy, Dr. Doshi, if we were denied access to TSMC?
The impact would be catastrophic. The entire AI build-out in the United States is made in Taiwan. All the chips are from there. All the advanced nodes that we need for those data centers come from Taiwan. Virtually every single NVIDIA chip of significance is made in Taiwan. And so there is no AI data center build-out. There is no AI industry without Taiwan's fabs. The result of China having not only destroyed those fabs in the case of war, but perhaps occupying those fabs if Taiwan is peacefully taken, it would mean that our entire AI future is in the hands of Beijing. And because AI is the most transformative technology we know of, and because we don't have the industrial advantage to go head-to-head against China, this is the one lead we do have, compute, AI chips. If we lost that, we would probably lose the 21st century.
That's what happens if Trump does any of this other stuff he's trying to do, just to keep an election from happening. All of this chaos, the Minnesota stuff, all of this is an effort to make sure something happens to stop that election. See, they can't stop it legally. There's no executive order to stop it. There's no federal jurisdiction over the elections. There's no presidential involvement legally in elections. So he can't just tell people to stop it. And there has to be leadership changed around the country. You know, there's other people who want to run for office around the country. So there's no way to just say, hey, let's not have it. There has to be some emergency going on. And we got a long way to go. You ain't lying, brother. You ain't lying. I hate I did not have that clip that I wanted to show about that interview, because there was some very pertinent stuff in that interview. Somehow I managed to not save it, to this device. I'll play it Monday. I'll make sure I got it Monday. Pay attention. Pay attention over the next couple of days to what's going on in Greenland. Pay attention to world news. And if you want to, look at BBC and Al Jazeera. England has been trying their best to, the UK, that is, has been trying their best to not let this escalate, because the UK doesn't want any part of a skirmish with the US. They just don't. You know, there's no stomach for fighting. And I think the UK, a lot of the people in the UK, there's a side in the UK that is Donald Trump-esque. They're being really quiet about it. Pay attention if you want to see some interesting reporting and news. Watch the BBC and watch Al Jazeera. Look at those two news outlets, you know, where you can. You can pull them up on the computer. There's no problem to get to them. They're on cable. Listen to some of the reporting coming out of Al Jazeera and the BBC. It is interesting stuff. Pay attention to what goes on with Greenland over the next few days. That's the direction we're going. As far as ice on the ground, and what's going on in Minnesota, here, let me see if I can pull a... J.D. Vance literally went on TV and admitted that the ICE soldiers aren't really being trained. I talked about that Monday as well. Well, listen to what one of these crazy folks was talking about as far as people in ICE. Check this out.
You wonder who's filling ICE's ranks right now? Just watch this video.
You literally can join ICE and be God's appointed avenger, right? Who seeks to carry out God's vengeance on the evildoer. Immigration is evil, and those who are flooding our country, it's not theirs. They are flooding our country like a swarm of locusts and eating up the inheritance that your fathers, by their blood, sweat, and tears, laid up for you. It is a breach of a rebellion against the fifth commandment to honor your father and mother. If you are a heritage American and you can track your ancestry back even just 3 generations, you have some degree of heritage here in America. Your fathers, they literally sacrificed for you, and what they did for you and for your children, their children's children, is being devoured by those who it does not belong to. And so to join the proper mechanism through ICE and to become, in that sense, God's appointed deacon to carry out vengeance on the evildoer who is devouring the inheritance of the children, that is a righteous thing. You can join ICE today and make Jesus smile.
That's the kind of people joining ICE. Those are the kind of people joining ICE. That's what we got going on the airwaves out there in rural America and in the South 40 America. That's what's going on. What can we do to change the outcome? Well, you can join ICE. But seriously, That's a damn good question. I wish I had an answer for that. I wish I had an answer for that. See, the unfortunate part about this is most of us wake up in the morning and we just hope we can turn on the TV and it hasn't jumped off. See, America is at a boil right now. It's boiling, like what's going on in Minnesota. Right now, they shooting flashbangs and shit at people in Minnesota. Right now, in Minnesota, they're kicking doors in with no warrant. You heard that right. They're kicking doors in with no warrant. That's called a warrantless search. That is absolutely illegal in any circumstance. The people are going to get fed up. This, you know, you can push and push and push and push. They gave them orders to spray the people in their faces and shove them down. Push them back to a line where you can spray them in the face with chemicals and then shoot flashbangs at them and shove them to the ground. Just for protesting. Not for attacking ICE, not for doing anything at all, but standing there and protesting. The people are going to get upset. There's going to be an eventual upheaval. We are going to be probably a lot of us are going to have to make a decision. Are you going to sit in the house? Are you going to sit in the house and hope nothing happens to you? Some of us old people, us old people got a decision to make. Going to sit in the house? If you're going to sit in the house, sit in the house. If that's what you feel, if that's all you feel like you can do, sit in the house and hope it doesn't reach your house. Somehow that trick never works. Be ready to hit the streets. It's going to take a lot of boots on the ground to turn this around. You're going to have to be ready to go out in the street. Just that simple. You might have to have a stick in your hand. If you're not a card carrying weapon owner, you may have to just have a stick in your hand. But you got to be willing to fight to save your ass. That's all it is to it. You're going to have to be willing to fight to save your ass. Because it's probably coming to a town near you. Especially if this guy decides, if he just ups and decides he's decreeing martial law or something. If he decides one day, I'm just decreeing martial law based on what I say is an emergency. Don't put it past this old crazy ass dude. This dude crazy as hell. And he's got a guy sitting there on his shoulder, Stephen Miller, who is crazier than him, telling him, yeah, let's do it. Come on, let's do it. We can do it right now. Come on, boss, let's do it. He got that little fuck sitting right on his shoulder in his ear saying that all day long. Hence, ICE kicking doors in door to door. When they said door to door, they're going door to door. We'll see. That's all I got. We'll see. I'm going to get out of here. I got to go pay attention because The Greenland thing has me more worried than anything else, because when there's soldiers hitting the ground in Greenland, that's intentional. That's somebody saying, "Hey, we will fight you." See, the administration has their mind made up that they can just talk everybody into being afraid. And remember, I said before, there's a lot of people on this planet who would rather die than be subjugated by America or subjected to American rule. There's a lot of people that would rather die than do that. And see, when this guy gives the order for people to start dying, he's not giving the order for John Jr. to carry his ass, or Donald Jr., not John Jr., but Donald Jr. to carry his ass into Greenland. See, Donald Jr. is not going to have no boots on and a rifle on his back going into Greenland. See? That's just the way it is. So I'm getting ready to go out here and go up here and watch this, see what I can find out. Yeah, okay. Hey, I'll try and be as careful as I can, and I will see you Monday. Thanks for hanging out with me, Carmen. So I'm gonna get out of here and go do what I just said. I gotta go pay attention to this because this is really, really important and needs to be watched. So I'm out. I'm going to go and monitor this some, and I'll see you all Monday. Enjoy this football this weekend. For those of you who watch football, this should be some good football. For those of me, I couldn't afford to have a CPR team waiting in my kitchen, so I may or may not watch it. So I see y'all Monday. Okay. All right. Take it easy.